The 2000 election was one of the most heated and disputed events in the history of politics, with the runner-up of the political contest receiving more popular votes than the victor. His competitor Al Gore only won 266, losing the pivotal swing state of Florida by a margin of 300 to 900 votes. Political contest receiving more popular votes than the victor. His competitor Al Gore only won 266, losing the pivotal swing state of Florida by a margin of 300 to 900 votes.
So the networks made a mistake and projected Florida in the Al Gore column. It was our mistake.
When Gore demanded a statewide recount in Florida, he was granted one because of the uncertainty surrounding the accuracy of the voting booths. However, in the case of Bush versus Gore, the Supreme Court effectively resolved the election in favor of Bush by halting the recount. There is still dispute over the result. No Child Left Behind was the government's flagship aid program for disadvantaged students.
No child will be left behind. Not one single child.
It established high expectations and set feasible goals that augmented individual outcomes in the area of education.
Not appear that there's any kind of an effort up there yet. Now remember, oh my God.
Oh my God.
In what has become the single most important event of the decade, the September 11 attacks were responsible for demolishing the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center complex in New York and destroying a portion of the Pentagon building in Arlington, Virginia.
It has had a devastating economic impact on Lower Manhattan, has led to traumatizing health issues for local residents, and has permanently altered government policies concerning terrorism.
The CEO called us in and let us know that one of the founders of the company, Daniel Lewin, was on the Flight 11. So he was recognized in a lot of cases as a hero. Knowing him, it doesn't surprise me or any of us at all that he would do something like that, because he was just the type of person who would stand up in defense of everybody else to help make a bad situation okay. So, or maybe a couple hours later, it was clear that no one on the plane could have survived.
FBI reports tried to take on the plane's hijackers on his own and was stabbed to death, making him the first victim of the 9/11 terrorist attacks.
Al-Qaeda, led by Osama bin Laden, has taken full responsibility for the attack, which has increased Islamophobia here in the United States. The popularity of the story of Elian Gonzalez was on the same level as the Trayvon Martin shooting, which grips the nation today.
And they came in with guns. Now, I don't say they were put on my brain, but the gun was pointed right to me. Give me the boy, give me the boy. And there was a lady with a blanket, and she took it and she put it over his face.
Elian was at the epicenter of a heated 2000 dispute involving the governments of both the United States and Cuba, Gonzalez's biological father, and Gonzalez's relatives that resided in Miami, Florida. While Elian's mother, her boyfriend, and Elian himself were trying to swim to freedom, Elian's mother drowned. Initially, the INS decided to put Elian with his paternal relatives in Miami. However, a federal district court ultimately ruled that only Gonzalez's father could petition for asylum, and due to the fact that he was unwilling to do so, Elian was seized by federal agents and consequently deported back to Cuba in 2000.
Fidel Castro viewed this as a victory for Cuba, and the Elian Gonzalez affair turned out to be a critical issue in the 2000 election as well.
So much to do, so much to see, so what's wrong with taking the back streets?
Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire was published by Scholastic in the United States in 2000 and was ultimately the last book to be published before the series came alive on the big screen, with Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone being the first film.
You're a wizard, Harry.
I'm a what?
Shrek was released in 2001, led by an all-star cast of Mike Myers and Cameron Diaz. It received critical acclaim. It was just the first of a long series.
Off the table!
Where are we supposed to put it? The bed's taken.
What?
Pokemon exerted its pop culture dominance in all aspects of life. It had a TV show, stuffed animals, and even its own playing card series.
Hey now, you're an all-star.
Gladiator won the Best Motion Picture Award in 2000.
My name is Gladiator. Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance.
The American version of the popular reality TV show Survivor appeared on CBS on May 2000 and is considered to be the leader of the pack of reality TV shows that followed. Spears was one of the most popular cultural icons during the beginning of the 2000s, and during the third album Britney, Spears transitioned from being viewed as a teen pop queen to being acknowledged as a sex symbol.
At the same time, NSYNC also enjoyed great success in the pop music industry. Y2K was a digital problem that left the nation in mass paranoia.
The Y2K virus, otherwise known as the Year 2000 problem, was an issue for both digital and non-digital documentation, which resulted from the practice of abbreviating a 4-digit year to 2 digits.
Man-made calamity so pervasive, it threatens not only the United States, but the entire world.
The Year 2000 computer problem is, without question, the most complex, most expensive problem mankind has ever faced.
It was not uncommon for one to buy a Y2K survival kit to survive the upcoming disaster.
They're saying we need to be preparing for the doomsday scenario, and they may be right.
We'll have martial law by this time next year. I don't think there will be New Year's Eve celebrations like we have seen them in the past, because I think there will be troops in the street.
Obviously, his claims proved fallacious.
Napster, which was operated between June 1999 and July 2001, was envisioned as a peer-to-peer file sharing service for all different types of software.
The iPod forever revolutionized the music world. 30 models have been released and each endured commercial success.
Boom. That's iPod. I happen to have one right here in my pocket, matter of fact. There it is, right there.
iTunes is a media managing software released at the same time as the iPod that is still used today.
Wikipedia is a free, collaboratively edited internet encyclopedia that was launched in January of 2000 by Larry Sanger and Jimmy Wales, who used the concept of a wiki initially introduced by Ward Cunningham.
Come on, get him in the fold. Get him in the fold. The 3 cars out. Oh! Big trouble. Big wreck behind them.
Dale Earnhardt was a racing icon who lost his life at the wheel due to an unfortunate accident. The Subway Series involved the two New York baseball teams squaring off, with as expected the Yankees coming on top to win another World Series. It may seem hard to believe now, but at the time, in 2000, Tiger Woods was not just considered the world's best golfer, but the world's best athlete. The U.S. enjoyed great success at the Sydney Summer Olympics in 2000, winning the most medals overall.
So report, Bob Schaefer reporting from CBS News headquarters here in New York. A surge of violence in the Middle East today, including the apparent suicide bomb attack on a U.S. Navy warship, has pushed tension in the region to a level not seen in years.
The destruction of the USS Cole marked the first time Al-Qaeda attacked the United States. The attack is credited to Abd al-Rahim al-Nasiri. President Clinton tried once again to make peace between Israel and Egypt by hosting the Camp David Summit. Ultimately, it was an unsuccessful attempt to negotiate a final status settlement to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In Tiananmen Square, Beijing, radicals set themselves on fire to protest religious suppression in China.
The decade has been marked by strong growth, the lowest unemployment in a generation, and yet remarkably little inflation.
Between 1995 and 2000, the United States experienced a false sense of economic security under a gigantic speculative bubble.
Expansion began. The question, though, has the economy changed for good?
That Cold War between economic growth and inflation is over.
The Internet evolved into a commercial phenomenon. Open markets and the deluge of real-time information have unleashed cutthroat competition, keeping inflation under wraps. Explosion.
We're the .com.
To the
Many investors overlook traditional metrics such as PE ratio in favor of confidence in technological advancements. The stocks that were purchased by the investor reached dizzying heights due to the challenge in properly evaluating the companies. These investors were also made wildly rich on paper.
Take it on.